What's going on, everybody? It's Steven again from Pal's Power Ups. This is a new video series that I'll be creating called Troubleshooting. So this will be part one. So this is actually for a client. He reached out to me and is having some problems with his color profiles. So I had the idea, hey, let's make a video series for helping people out how to troubleshoot their lightsaber. So you're playing around with your lightsaber, right? And he noticed his blaster colors weren't what they were supposed to be. So he tried to go on his saber into the color profiles and change it. He was having difficulty with it. So this is one of the steps you could take to kind of figure out that process. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to take your lightsaber. We're going to go ahead and remove the chassis and so that we can access our SD card and stick it in the computer. Step one, we remove the battery, right? So we're going to pop that out. Battery's out. Now we can get our SD card out. SD card is out. Next, you'll need your adapter. Mine is in the other room. I'm going to go get it. Sorry about that. I got it. So you're going to take your SD card. We're going to put it into the adapter, the USB adapter, and we're going to pop it in our computer. So I know you probably already went through and set up a lot of blade profiles with color profiles and parameters and things like that, and we obviously want to keep those things like they are. So the first step we're going to do, I'm going to change my background so you guys can see what it is I'm actually doing. Make it gray. Okay, so first thing is we just put in our SD card. Here it is, right? Crystal Focus X. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to copy all of it, because you got it already set up like you want it, so you don't want to mess it up except for the parts that we're going to fix. So you're going to copy it, okay? You're going to close that out. You're going to go to your folder that you should have already created when you got the saber from me, where all of your original files are. You can make a new folder if you want to. You can paste it in there. Mine, I use this right here, my CFX. So here's all, let's pretend I already pasted it. This is what normally goes on my SD card, right? It has my sound fonts and all my configurations. You're going to go ahead and do that. You're going to go ahead and paste everything you have on your SD card, because your settings that you've done on your saber are saved on there, and they might not be that way in your computer. So you want to keep the changes that you've made. So you're going to go ahead and put them here into an empty folder wherever you'd like, because we're going to go ahead and format the SD card, which is going to erase everything off of it. So we have those there. We'll minimize it. Next, we're going to go ahead and format the SD card. The purpose of this is to optimize performance of your Crystal Focus X. When it retrieves files off the SD card, it helps if those files are placed on the SD card in a nice, orderly fashion. If you make changes and edit the files while they're on the SD card without formatting it, it kind of scatters everything about, kind of takes it all out of order. It makes it a little more difficult for your board to retrieve files off of it. So we want it to work as optimally as possible, so this is a quick step that you can do. It's not required, but it is recommended. So we're going to go up here to the search bar at the top. On a Mac computer, we're going to go to Disk Utility. If you were on a Windows, Microsoft Windows computer, you would go to My Computer. Over here on the left column, even on a My Computer, or I'm sorry, even on a Windows computer, in My Computer, over here on the left side where we have all of our drives, we're going to click the SD card and we're going to format it. So you would, on a Windows computer, you would right click and then you would click Format. On the Mac, we're going to click Erase. We're going to name it Crystal Focus X or John Boy's, Crystal Focus X SD card, or whatever you want to put on there. And then we're going to go ahead and format it. We're going to pick the format of FAT. On the Windows, if you have the option, you're going to choose FAT 16 or 32. Either one works fine. On the Mac, I think it automatically does 32. You can see it ghosted down there. So we're going to click 32 and we're going to click Erase. And then on the Windows, you would click Format. So it's going to erase everything. Once it's done, you can click Done and you can go ahead and close all that. Now when you look back on the SD card, everything's gone. So that's why we copied and pasted everything out of it before we went ahead and did that. So now I'm going to show you the kind of the first step of troubleshooting, maybe not the first step, but a step that you can do when you're troubleshooting. So John messaged me and he couldn't get his blaster colors on one of his color profiles to go back to the original color. He was having some problems with it. So we're going to go to the Plectra Labs website, and they have all the default files on there. So the color configuration file, it's on there. You can download it, and we're going to go ahead and check that out. So we're going to go to the internet. We're going to go to the Plectra Labs website, plectralabs.com. On the left side, you have the menu column under CFX, firmware updates, and night builds. We're going to click that. Up here at the top, you have a lot of different things. One of them is the latest Crystal Focus X SD card package. So we're going to click that one. Then we're going to go down and we're going to download one of these packages. So you'll notice there's a lot of betas in here and then a lot of older versions. I like to just get the one that's not a beta just because we know that one doesn't have things being tested on it yet, and it's not complete, I think is kind of what that means. So we're going to get the one that's just the Crystal Focus X version 10 version. We're going to download it. Once it's downloaded, it should pop up on your desktop. I've already downloaded it, and I already put it in my files folder, my Saber files folder, and it is right here, the Crystal Focus X10 default. So from here, this is all the files that would come on the Saber or the Crystal Focus X from the manufacturer, from Plectra Labs. You have some stock sound fonts and all the configuration files. So what you're going to do, John, is you're going to go ahead and copy this colors text, and then you're going to go ahead and go back to your folder that you pasted from earlier from your SD card, and you're going to go ahead and paste it in there. You should get a notification telling you, hey, this colors text already exists in this location. Do you want to replace it? You're going to say, yes, replace it, because we want the default one to go back in there. And anything you might have had configured wrong in your previous color configuration should now go back to the stock setting. And then when you put this back in your Saber, it should be good to go. So once you get that pasted, you're going to go ahead and copy all your files again. Okay. We're going to go ahead and go back to the empty SD card because we formatted it, and you're going to paste all your files. And that completes kind of one of the first parts of troubleshooting, is going back and getting the default files from the manufacturer. There are other ones on there too. You have all of the sound fonts, so you can kind of use it as a reference. You can look into them, see what they have in theirs, and then go look at yours and kind of use it as a reference and just look back and forth and figure out. Or if you can't figure it out, you can just copy and paste like we just did with the colors configuration file. You can do the same thing with the other ones too, like the configuration file for the blade profiles and the settings, and the other ones like the special texts, or I'm sorry, the specials configuration file and the preferences one as well. So once this is done copying, you're going to go ahead and inject it from your computer, put it back in your Saber, and that is kind of one of the steps you can do in troubleshooting. I'll add more to this series in time once we run into more issues and kind of help you guys out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, just comment down below.